All right, let's talk about it. That feeling you get when you think about planning your marketing for the whole year, that little bit of dread, yeah, you're not alone. But what if we could turn that stress into like a strategic superpower? That's what we're going to do right now. Let's dive in.
Yep, it's that time. You open up that fresh calendar or that blank spreadsheet and just 52 empty weeks stare right back at you. The pressure is real. I get it. It can be one of the most intimidating things a marketer has to do. But hey, don't sweat it. We're going to tackle this thing together.
You know, if even just the idea of planning out the entire year gives you that fight or flight feeling, you're not being dramatic at all. It's a massive pressure point for pretty much everyone in marketing. But here's the thing, there is a much better way to approach it. So what's the secret? It's actually pretty simple. You have to stop trying to fill 365 individual days. Instead, we're going to zoom way out. Think bigger picture. We're going to build an annual blueprint. This is the foundation for everything else.
Okay, first things first. Let's get our language straight, because it matters. A goal, that's your one big thing. It's the destination on your map, right? Like, increase overall sales by 20%. Then you have your objectives. Think of these as the key milestones or signposts along the way that tell you you're on the right track. Stuff like, grow our email list by 5%, or boost web traffic by 10%. Getting this clear from the start, honestly, it's a secret weapon.
So what exactly goes into this blueprint? Well, it's way more than just a schedule. It's a document that forces you to answer these really fundamental questions about your brand. And listen, this isn't just fluffy marketing speak. Answering these questions, like what you stand for, who you're talking to, your big sales goals, this creates the guardrails for every single decision you're going to make all year long.
Okay, so you've got your blueprint. Now it's time to build the scaffolding around it. And I'm not talking about just throwing a bunch of random meetings on the calendar. No way. This is about creating a deliberate planning rhythm, a cadence that connects that big, exciting vision to the day-to-day work.
And this four-part cadence is, honestly, kind of genius. Think of it like a waterfall. You start with the big vision at the annual meeting. That flows down into your quarterly strategy sessions, which then flows into your monthly leadership meetings. And finally, that all feeds the quick weekly syncs. It's a perfect system to keep everyone aligned without anyone getting bogged down in meeting hell.
And check this out. This is what makes it work so well. Each of these meetings has a super specific job. That annual meeting, that's your full day deep dive. Go big, dream big. The quarterly meeting is all about strategy and budget. Are we on track? What needs to change? Monthly is where you get into the nitty-gritty KPIs and campaign planning. And the weekly sync, that's just a quick 20-minute huddle on what's hot right now. See? No overlap, no wasted time, it's just efficient.
All right, now we get to what I think is the most crucial part of this whole thing, flexibility. Look, we all know markets change on a dime, right? New competitors pop up, customer behavior is, well, it's unpredictable. If your plan is totally rigid, it's just a recipe for disaster. You don't need a plan that breaks, you need a framework that can bend.
And that's the key right there. Your marketing plan is not written in stone. You have to think of it more like a living, breathing document. It's basically a starting hypothesis that you're going to constantly test and tweak based on what the real-world data is telling you. Once you make that mental shift, it's a total game changer.
This really breaks it down perfectly. A rigid plan, that just breaks under pressure and creates a ton of anxiety for the team. But a flexible framework, that's where the magic happens. It adapts, it lets you test things, and maybe most importantly, it lets you be smart and reallocate your budget from something that isn't working to something that's totally crushing it. It actually fosters innovation instead of squashing it. And look, this isn't just some abstract idea. You can literally build flexibility right into your process. Those quarterly reviews we talked about, bam, that's your scheduled pivot point. Encouraging A/B testing on ads, that becomes your innovation engine. And I love this one, using a 90-day testing period for new stuff. It gives you enough time to get real data without committing to something forever. It's how you take smart risks.
Okay, so we've got our big picture blueprint, our foundation. We've got our flexible scaffolding with that meeting rhythm. So now what? How do we actually start, populating the calendar without getting lost in the weeds? Let's put this final piece of the puzzle into place.
Here's the trick. You have to ignore all the little things at first. Seriously. Start with what they call the big rocks. These are your major milestones for the year, the absolute non-negotiables. Product launches, big sales, annual conferences, get those on the calendar first. All the other smaller stuff can fill in the gaps later. So this is a perfect example of what Q1 could look like.
You see, you've got your annual vision meeting in January, that's a big internal rock, then a Valentine's Day campaign launch in February, an external one, then a big industry trade show, and finally your Q2 planning session. These are the anchors for the quarter. All the other smaller tasks, the pebbles and sand, they just naturally fill in the space around these big rocks.
See, once those big rocks are firmly in place, then you can start building out the more detailed stuff, like a content or editorial calendar. This is where you get down to the weekly flow of blogs, social posts, emails, you name it. And because you already have your main anchors for the quarter, filling this in becomes so much less intimidating. It's actually kind of a breeze.
So, when you boil it all down, what's the big takeaway here? A truly great marketing plan isn't a rigid cage that traps you. It's a compass. It sets your direction, for sure, but it also gives you the freedom to navigate and explore new paths when you see an opportunity. A flexible plan like this is what empowers you to lead, to adapt, and ultimately to win. So, where will you guide your brand in 2026?